So is this a stock bike that's straight out the shop that anyone can buy?
The actual frame design is completely stock, and we've got a custom junior team paint job on it, so kind of all black. That's direct from the Trek factory race shop, but the actual frame is what you buy in a shop.
And how did you set it up for the Hardline? Does it change anything about the fork? And
geometry-wise, kept it exactly the same. Put quite a lot more low speed and compression on both the fork and the shock, and then went up a little bit on the tyre pressure as well, just because how hard we're hitting stuff and how steep some of the lips are. The tyres were actually rolling out underneath us. Had a bit of a big crash on the first day here. Actually hit a tree mid-air just because my tyre rolled and pulled me off the takeoff. So went kind of almost, I'd say 4 psi higher on the tyres front and rear, and then probably like an extra 10 clicks low speed front and rear as well. So yeah, you just got to hold up for the big hits, and yeah, apart from that, it's all the same.
Yeah, and the tyres are cut, the lugs are cut down as well.
Yeah, we've had some nice Welsh weather, so Schwalbe Dirty Dan, just taking a couple of mil off each one just so it's not quite as sharp, because there's some quite rocky features up there. But you get good braking and good traction in the mud as well, so kind of like a bit of both. You know, it's not a full spike, but it's better than a dry tyre in these conditions.
Okay, cool. And the brake you're running, I see that looks completely different to a normal brake. Can you can we spin the bike around actually?
Yeah, sure.
Is that cool?
It's a Trek part that takes a bit of the vibration out of the rear brake. Because we've got a pivot on the rear axle, the higher the disc we run, the more it affects the brake performance through vibration. So Trek made this nice part for us.
And how does it work?
With a kind of little brass gimbal, and just takes the vibration out of the brake. So you can kind of feather it, and it doesn't make that awful howl that a lot of bikes do. So yeah, it's been a big improvement, and yeah, you do really notice a difference.
Do you feel a big difference on every race, or just
every
high
race.
speed?
We got them at the beginning of this year, and I've not taken it off.
Yeah. I see you've set you've got a couple of spacers to bring the front of the bike a bit higher.
So I've got a 40mm stem on there. I like the bars a little bit closer. I actually run a large frame, and I'm not the largest of people, so I've got a good wheelbase. And then the Hope 40mm stem, direct mount brings it back. We've got 10mm spacers under there, which just brings the front end up. You know, it allows me to run the fork softer over rough stuff. I think a lot of people will run the fork all the way through and still feel like they're diving, and they'll actually compromise on fork performance by having it too stiff. So yeah, run it quite supple, and yeah, the height, as soon as you start pointing down, it kind of evens out, and it allows for a smoother ride.
I know you do a lot of coaching as well, so is that something you tell people to do? Is that kind of one of your tips that you give people?
I mean, it depends what stage they're at. I mean, a lot of people that are further on will ask about bike setup and how that would affect them. But
what's the number one tip that you give if you were
number one tip that I give
for any rider, early level?
Slow down to go fast. I really do think that is. It sounds ridiculous, but if you put a rider against the clock, more often than not, the pressure will get to them, and they'll just start blowing out turns and just braking too late, and basically doing everything a split second later than they have to. So I always say, get it done early, get your setup done, and think about carrying speed rather than just going fast. And I think to going fast, you have to be methodical. You have to have a process of linking things together. If you just think about going like, you know, wide open the whole time, it only takes you so far. So I definitely kind of encourage riders to be methodical and be aware of what they're doing.